This is Matthew White, and this is my project for the UHI. So the idea of the project came from Perth UHI, and it was to control sensors on a wind tunnel remotely by LabVIEW and an Arduino. So this is my setup, what I've got going here. So I've got my Arduino Uno. I've got my circuit there for driving the motors, my breadboard and my sensors. So for my inputs, I've got, this is to simulate the sensor on the wind tunnel itself. That's just sensing how fast the wind's blowing through the tunnel. That's just a motor that's going to pin A0 on the Arduino. And I've got a smoothing circuit, which you'll see in a minute, on LabVIEW, because the reading for it was a bit jumpy initially. I've got an external sensor, which is just simulated by this part here. That's going to pin A1. That's just to simulate wind direction. The idea of that being that the software has the ability to open and close the tunnel depending on the external wind conditions. I've got so for my outputs, I've got pin 10, that's just a motor. Pin 11, another motor. They're pulse width modulation. And pin 9, I've got this servo here. That's just to simulate the tunnel being open and shut. Now there is an issue with that. That's not working great, but hopefully there'll be enough in it to get through the demonstration. But if not, you'll be able to see it on the panel. And I've got pin 1, which is just an on and off for the LED there. You see this lit up there. Okay, so I'll show you the VI in LabVIEW. Okay, so that's the Arduino initialization. We've got, let's have a look. So that's, yeah, pin 10 for the motor. That corresponds to the motor there. Motor 2 on pin 11. The servo on pin 9. And then we've got pin 1, which is the light there, that's already on. So this is the inputs now. So that's pin 0, that's an analog read, and that's the conditioning circuit underneath it to just smooth out the waveform, but you'll see that in a minute because I've got them both going on a graph on the front panel. And that's the external sensor, sorry I've missed that. External sensor there, pin 1. And that's just the conversion to go to 360. Okay, so front panel. That's it working away. So I'll just demonstrate the motors. So basically they're just 0 to 255. The blue bar is just an indicator bar, and they can be set on any reading from 0 to 255. So the light here, that's indicating that the tunnel's open. The external sensor, that's at 238 degrees right now, so I'll just change the pot there. I'm just tweaking that pot, and that's going it's the range for it to be open is between 200 and 250, so anything outside of that the tunnel will be off. So as I'm tweaking that part there, you can see it's only between 200 and 250 that it opens. And I'll just plug in the servo and hopefully that'll change with that as well. So as that's going outside the zone, that's turning on and off, but you can hear it. It's not great. I'm waiting for a new servo to come, but it does work. So I'm just going to unplug that again because it's a bit noisy. Okay, so I'm just going to use the hairdryer to blow the fan, and that should get a reading on the input there. So just let it stop and start again. And you can see from the graph underneath, the green's the raw data that we're initially getting, and the red line is the signal after it's been through the conditioning circuit on LabVIEW. So I mean, the idea of the project really is to just demonstrate the control through LabVIEW rather than the accuracy of the sensors. They're not, the sensors aren't super accurate. So that's my two inputs and my outputs covered. So what I'm going to try and do is connect by the same network through LabVIEW's remote panel software that's built into LabVIEW, and then hopefully I'm going to go to a computer on another network and show it through going through a browser.